Of course, here is voiceover text in paragraph style for a 10-minute YouTube video on the explosive growth of solar power. There are moments in history when a technology, quietly simmering in the background, suddenly erupts into the forefront, changing everything. We saw it with the internet, we saw it with the smartphone, and right now, under our noses, it's happening again. This time, it's with the power of the sun. For decades, solar power was a hopeful promise, a clean but costly dream. But in the last few years, something fundamental has shifted. The amount of electricity being generated from solar isn't just growing anymore, it's exploding on a scale that is, frankly, unbelievable. So how did this silent revolution happen so fast? What tipping point did we just cross? And what does it mean for the future of energy as we know it? To understand how unbelievable today is, we have to remember the story of solar just a short time ago. For most of its life, solar power was seen as a niche solution. It was the stuff of science fairs, satellites orbiting the Earth, and off-grid cabins. It was commendable, it was clean, but it was expensive and inefficient. The mantra was that it was a nice idea, but it could never seriously challenge the fossil fuels that powered our world. For over half a century, progress was slow and steady, a gentle upward curve. But that curve wasn't just a curve, it was a fuse being lit, and we are now living through the moment of detonation. The first and most critical catalyst for this explosion is a collapse in cost that is unprecedented in the history of manufacturing. You may have heard of Moore's Law for computers, but solar has its own, even more powerful version. Every time the world's manufacturing capacity for solar panels has doubled, the cost has fallen by about 20%. This relentless trend means the price of a solar panel has fallen by over 90% in just the last decade. A technology that was once more expensive than nuclear power is now, in many parts of the world, the absolute cheapest form of new electricity you can build, full stop. The economics have completely flipped. It's no longer a question of whether we can afford to build solar. It's becoming a question of whether we can afford not to. But it's not just about cost. While prices were plummeting, the technology itself was getting dramatically better. The solar panels of today are not the same as the ones from 5 or 10 years ago. Scientists and engineers have achieved remarkable breakthroughs in efficiency, squeezing more and more power out of every single sunbeam. Innovations like perk cells, bifacial panels that can capture light from both sides, and new materials are pushing the boundaries of what's possible. This means that a solar farm built today on the same plot of land as one from 2015 can generate significantly more power. This virtuous cycle cheaper costs funding research that leads to better tech, which in turn becomes cheaper to produce, has created an unstoppable feedback loop. This technological revolution ignited a global manufacturing boom of incredible scale. Driven by massive investment and government policies, factories began churning out solar panels at a rate the world had never seen. This sheer economy of scale drove prices down even further. In 2023 alone, the world installed a staggering 445 gigawatts of new solar capacity. To put that number in perspective, that is more solar installed in a single year than the entire existing electricity grid of a country like Japan. Here in the United States, states like California, Texas, and right here in North Carolina are leading a nationwide charge. With solar installations breaking records quarter after quarter, we have fundamentally changed the equation of energy production on a global scale. So what does this look like on the ground? It looks like entire nations being powered. At certain times, almost entirely by renewables. It looks like deserts in Chile and the UAE hosting solar farms so vast they are easily visible from space, generating some of the cheapest electricity on Earth. It looks like everyday homeowners realizing that putting panels on their roof isn't just an environmental choice, but a financially savvy one that can slash their energy bills. The sun provides more energy to the Earth every single hour than all of humanity uses in an entire year. For the first time in our history, we have finally built the tools to capture a meaningful slice of that near-infinite power source. Of course, this explosive growth isn't without its challenges. The biggest and most obvious one has always been intermittency. The sun doesn't shine at night. For solar to be a true replacement for fossil fuels, we need a way to store its power. And that's where the second parallel revolution comes in: battery storage. Just like solar panels, the cost of large-scale lithium-ion batteries has been plummeting. We are now building grid-scale battery farms right alongside solar farms, creating giant reservoirs of energy. These batteries soak up all the excess cheap solar power generated during the day and then release it back onto the grid during the evening and overnight, ensuring a smooth, stable, and clean supply of power. 24/7. Solving the storage problem is the final piece of the puzzle. While there are still other hurdles to overcome, like upgrading our aging electrical grids to handle this new, decentralized flow of energy and ensuring our supply chains are sustainable, the primary obstacles are falling away one by one. The path forward is becoming clearer than ever. We are moving from a system of centralized fuel-burning power plants to a smarter, more resilient grid powered by a fusion reactor located 93 million miles away. So when we talk about the unbelievable growth of solar, it's not just an industry trend. It's the beginning of a wholesale transformation of our civilization's relationship with energy. This isn't a gradual transition anymore. It's a disruption happening at exponential speed. For generations, we powered our world by digging up the finite resources of the past. Today, we are building a future powered by the clean, limitless energy of the present. The silent, steady work of scientists and engineers over the last 50 years has finally brought us to this moment, where the dream of a world powered by the sun is not just possible, it's becoming inevitable.